Welcome to The Know, I'm Mica Burton.
And I'm Adam Ellis.
If you already thought the world was in a major crisis against ransomware, it's been shutting down hospitals, police departments, and even entire towns lately, well, it looks like it's already on more computers than you could possibly imagine, at least according to Epic CEO Tim Sweeney.
That's because Sweeney, who has made a righteous crusade against Windows 10, is now calling Windows ransomware, designed to steal your Steam PC gaming library. Yikes.
Wow, okay then. And yes, we are talking about the CEO of video game company Epic, who made Gears of War, Unreal Tournament, and now the MOBA Paragon.
These are just the latest in a string of hyperbolic accusations against Windows, which must have stolen Sweeney's lunch money and kicked his dog at some point in the past. Last year, he said that Windows 10 would eventually update to break all of Steam on purpose.
That sounds a little bit paranoid.
Yeah,
Just a little bit. But there's a little more to unpack for the newest round of crazy statements. That's because he's making them specifically about Windows Cloud, a new leaked OS from Microsoft.
Word of Windows Cloud started circulating late last month, with users finding reference to it in Windows 10 Insider Preview builds. Then last week, a build of Windows Cloud leaked and the internet got their hands on it, which taught them a little more about what it is and how it works.
So here's what Windows Cloud appears to be, based on hands-on previews of the OS forum groups like NeoWin. It's basically a stripped-down version of Windows 10 similar to Chrome OS. It seems like it's meant to be a license-free version of Windows 10 for either the lower-end PCs or for places like school libraries and schools.
We won't be using Steam on those anyway. One thing about Windows Cloud is that it only runs universal Windows platform apps directly from the Windows Store, which technically means that Win32 applications, like just about every single PC game you own on Steam, won't be able to run on Windows Cloud unless you upgrade Windows Cloud to Windows 10 for a price.
And that's the part that's got Sweeney ranting. As Sweeney sees it, Microsoft will intentionally be locking you out of programs you own unless you give them money. And he's gone on a couple of tweet storms about it since this news started breaking about Windows Cloud.
It's like buying an iPad and saying it can't run Steam. It's not a big deal, although an iPad can run Steam because it's a Steam app. When it first hit, he tweeted, "Windows Cloud will steal your Steam PC game library and ransom it back to you for a price." He later added, Microsoft will be ransoming Unreal Engine, Unity, Photoshop, 3D Studio, and Maya,
Dude,
and any other programs. But that's just because
down.
you're buying an OS that doesn't support running Win32 apps. What's the deal, dude?
Adam is fired up about this. He followed all of that up with, want to buy software for someone other than Microsoft? They will make you pay for the privilege. Disgusting and illegal. Illegal was in all caps. I wanted to emphasize that.
A few days passed and Sweeney's jets cooled just a bit about Windows Cloud and his dirty schemes to steal all of your PC games. Just kidding. He started tweeting again yesterday. Sweeney wrote, "Windows Cloud is ransomware. It locks you out of Windows software you previously bought and makes you pay to unlock it by upgrading to Windows Pro."
That's a huge conspiracy theory he's got going on. And he also continued, Firefox blocked, Google Chrome blocked, Google Search blocked as a web browser search option, OpenGL, Vulkan, OpenVR, Oculus VR.
I mean, I feel like he is just not recognizing that this is not a normal Windows OS. It's like a mobile style OS for like netbooks. So Sweeney does seem to have a bit of a point, at least on the surface. Yes, you having to pay to Windows 10 would be holding your Steam library as well as other gaming development tools or any program running in Win32 as sort of hostage. But Windows Cloud isn't meant for high-end gaming rings, like I just said.
As we said earlier, Windows Cloud is primarily a low-end option for budget PCs, as those probably aren't the same ones you'll be using to buy tons of Steam games. Plus, it's also a budget option for places like schools.
Sweeney's argument then is that schools will be locked out of using educational tools like Unity, Unreal, and other game building engines. But again, if schools are building PCs for that specific purpose, they're going to be buying regular Windows 10 licenses anyway and having the hardware that can run all those types of applications.
And if you really want to get technical about it, aren't all of your applications held hostage by your OS anyway? You need one to run the games, and to do that, you have to buy a license. That's typically the way this works.
Of course, these aren't the first comments Sweeney has made against Microsoft and its design for Windows 10 and UWP. Last year, he read a piece for The Guardian in which he said Windows UWP can, should, must, and will die!
Wow. God, so dramatic. A few months later, he claimed in an interview with Edge magazine that Windows would gradually break Steam PC games through a series of updates that forced Win32 applications off the platform. And so far, this hasn't happened yet, but in his mind, Windows Cloud is a step towards it.
Are Sweeney's fears legitimate? After all, Microsoft has been hit with antitrust allegations in the past when it comes to Windows, and some of those have been pretty costly for the company.
It's no secret that Microsoft wants to not only compete in the PC gaming marketplace, but they want to own it. That's part of what the Windows Store is all about, and why crossplay with Microsoft exclusive titles on Xbox One has become a big selling point for their gaming division.
But this time it just doesn't seem to be the case. So far, Microsoft have been playing very nicely with Steam, and the times they've tried to box it out have been on their own end rather than locking Steam out from Windows.
Those haven't worked out particularly well for them. When the Windows Store version of the recently released Infinite Warfare didn't allow for crossplay with Steam, for instance, users started asking for mass refunds when there was nobody at all to play with.
When Rise of the Tomb Raider was exclusive to the Windows Store, it reportedly only sold about 10% of what it went on to sell once it became available on Steam. We don't know the numbers for Quantum Break, but that was another Microsoft exclusive that the company later released on Steam as well.
So at the moment, it looks like Microsoft is actually trying to create a platform that is better for gamers, rather than strong-arming competition. You could definitely argue that the results are a mixed bag, but so far there isn't any cause for Sweeney's hyperbolic, terrifyingly paranoid concerns.
And none of that is even dealing with the fact that there's already a monopoly on PC gaming that everyone seems perfectly content with: Steam.
If we're going to be monopolized by anyone, it's going to be Steam, by God damn it!
For Microsoft's part, they are attempting some gaming-friendly additions to their OS. There's Windows 10 Game Mode, for instance, although that's not going so hot according to recent tests.
I didn't even really know that was a thing.
Me neither.
See, there you go. PC Games End did a breakdown of game mode in their offices, only to find that games ran about the same, or in some cases worse, in game mode, which is the exact opposite of what it's supposed to do. Still, they did find a slight performance boost in a couple of titles.
Darn you, Windows, trying to take over our video games with subtle frame rate tweaks.
For shame! So, the conclusion is, don't worry, your Steam games are safe, at least for now, no matter what Tim Sweeney says.
What do you guys think of Sweeney's latest rants against Windows 10 and Windows Cloud? Are they coming to steal all your video games? Let us know in the comments.
For updates on wacky rants from CEOs, like this video and subscribe to The Know. I doubt that 5-year-olds in kindergarten are gonna want to play, I don't know, Skyrim on their PCs.
That's not true. I played like Zoombinis and shit all the time.
Zumbinis was great.
It was.
I love Zumbinis.
Make me a pizza.
Oh!
Yes, that.
Bring
Sweeney's
back Zumbinis! That's part of what the Windows Store is all about, and what